What's up, boys? How we doing, baby? Little Monday 9-game slate. This is gonna be an interesting one because this is another slate where we are waiting for injury news. We got some big news during the afternoon. Embiid got ruled out. Scotty Barnes is doubtful, so he's not expected to play. That's obviously huge news that changes everything. And now we have news that Ja Morant is questionable. And if Ja Morant gets ruled out, well, yeah, then it just gets even crazier because then we're gonna have a lot of value from Memphis. Guys like Tyus Jones would become a great value. D'Anthony Melton, Desmond Bane would be really good plays as well. It's an interesting slate for sure. We got some massive chalk tonight, and a guy like Andre Drummond. I see T-Bone already asked a question about Andre Drummond. He said, "Sup, Noah, you eating some of that Andre Drummond chalk?" Yeah, I mean, I'm playing Drummond. I'm not gonna get cute. He's projecting for like massive ownership, but it's like, I mean, Drummond's just the best play on the slate by a mile. He projects for almost 40 DraftKings points, and he's 4,400. Yeah, just play Andre Drummond tonight. Don't get cute. Don't fade him. Just if I was playing 150 lineups, I would play Drummond in every single lineup. But if you guys have questions about tonight's slate, you can go start throwing those in chat. We're gonna answer any questions you have just for the next 30 to 35 minutes. Talk through this slate, and hopefully we get some news on Ja pretty soon. Hopefully we can talk about that during the stream if that comes out. Still waiting for news on Brogdon and LeVert too. Both those guys are questionable. What's up, Noah? Do you like LaMelo Ball or Ja Morant? Bryce, I think both are in play for me. Obviously, Ja's questionable, so if you play Ja, just keep an eye on the news. If I have to pick one, I side with LaMelo, though. LaMelo finally had a good game yesterday. He finally played big minutes, too. Played like 33 minutes. I've been saying it for a while. Like, if LaMelo plays 33, 34 minutes, he's gonna smash. It's just, I don't know why they've been cutting his minutes so much this year. But if he plays 33 minutes again, LaMelo definitely against the Cavs, I mean, he's got a ton of upside. Thibault in play tonight. I don't think I'm going to go to Matisse Thibault. There's a lot of viable plays from this Sixers team. Tobias Harris, Maxey, Curry, obviously Drummond. I don't think I'd be playing Danny Green. I don't think I'd be playing Thibault. I think Shake Milton's in play. We'll have to wait and see, what the starting lineup looks like. I don't think Milton would start, but he should definitely get increased usage off the bench with Embiid out. With Embiid no longer on the floor. Like, Embiid is such a high usage player that, getting him off the floor is just going to allow for guys like Milton, Curry, Maxey, Tobias Harris. These guys are going to get a lot of opportunity. So there's a lot of plays from the Sixers today. I don't think Thibault, though, is going to be a guy I go to, honestly. Dejounte Murray or Cole Anthony for Yahoo, I would take Dejounte Murray. There's a big price difference between those guys. Dejounte Murray's 35, Cole Anthony's 25. So, I mean, yeah, just take Dejounte Murray. I don't know why you would play Cole Anthony when he's, just straight up. I would rather have Murray. People will chase LaMelo for good reason, but I love Morant for the low ownership because he's questionable but should play. I mean, yeah, Ja's going to be super low owned. He was already going to be low owned, but now that he's questionable, I mean, nobody's going to play Ja Morant. So if you want to play him in tournaments, yeah, go ahead. I think there's other guys I'd rather pay up for today, but, Ja can have a good game any night. Told you Malone was going to start playing Bones. He might get 20 plus tonight, especially if Ja doesn't play and it's a blowout. He did play Bones last game, and Bones looked really good. I still don't think I'd be playing Bones on this slate, and there's so much value already. You don't need to play Bones. But like Showdown, if you're playing the Showdown slate, I don't know if there is a Showdown slate for that game, but yeah, Bones would definitely be in play for Showdown. Or maybe like the 2-game night slate. What's up, Noah? My guy killed it on Prize Picks yesterday, playing NFL, and now it's time to win an NBA. Let's get it. Hey, Tank. Love to hear it, my man. Love to hear it. Noah the GOAT. What's up, family? What's up, Tyrell? What's up, my man? Boy, that Drummond chalk looks crazy. Yeah, Drummond's going to be massively popular, but I'm eating the chalk. If I was playing one lineup tonight and I was hand building, I mean, Drummond would be the first guy I would plug in. Do I pay up for 3 big-time guys today or more balanced lineup? We have value on this slate, so I think it's probably a stars and scrubs slate. Yeah, I don't know. There's not a ton of like cheap value, but there's a lot of good plays in the 4 to 5K range. You can play, 3-4 guys in the 4 to 5K range and still probably fit in like 1 or 2 studs at least. And obviously, if like Ja Morant gets ruled out, that's just going to give us even more value. How do you feel about Tobias now and the Sixers, guys? I mean, there's a lot to like from Philly. I think Tobias is expensive on DraftKings, I will say that. If Tobias was like 7,500 today, he would be a top play for me, but he's 9,100. So he's not, he's still in play, and I think Tobias still has 50-plus point upside. But I like him a lot more where he's cheaper. Like, he's cheaper on Yahoo. I know on FanDuel, Tobias Harris is really cheap. I'd be a lot more likely to play Tobias Harris on those sites than I would on DraftKings. But that doesn't mean Tobias Harris can't put up 55 DK points tonight and still be a good play at his price tag. He still could do that. But I think on DraftKings, he's priced correctly. I want to take a chance on Maxey with no Embiid for first time. Milton has me concerned, though. I do like Maxey. I think Maxey's a really good tournament play. Like, Maxey's not getting much ownership at all. And I think without Embiid, I mean, there's going to be more opportunity for Maxey, too. So, yeah, I definitely like Maxey. If he's going to be low owned like he's projecting, he's someone I do like a lot in tournaments. And I think Milton's a decent value, too. You could go to Milton for value. If someone fades a guy who can go 20-20 at 4.4K, they should just stop. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Look, it's NBA DFS. Anything could happen. Drummond could get in foul trouble. He could get injured. But the likelihood of him putting up a great score at his price tag is very likely. Like, even if Drummond puts up 30 tonight, he's still a great play at his price. And 30 feels like that would be a terrible game for Drummond. Derek White or Garland? Bro, I would probably go Garland, I guess. You like Tobias Harris with no Embiid? Yeah, Tobias Harris is a good play. He's just on DraftKings, he's priced correctly. I would say that. If he was cheaper, I think he'd be a top play for me, but at his price point, I'm not like running to roster Tobias Harris. At least for DraftKings, obviously. Yahoo, different story. He looks really good on Yahoo. Favorite plays under 4,800? It's got to be Drummond for sure. Let me see who else. I mean, there's still some news we're waiting on. But, like, yeah, if Brogdon and LeVert are out, I like TJ McConnell at 4,800. Gary Trent, I have some interest in, especially now that Scotty Barnes is doubtful. We didn't even talk about Chris Boucher. I think if Chris Boucher starts for Scotty Barnes, which is definitely possible, Chris Boucher is only 4K on DraftKings. I would like him a lot for value. I mean, there's a good amount of value tonight for sure. Those are a couple guys, though. How you feel about PG and Murray for Yahoo spin-ups? I think those are fine, T-Bone. Murray's definitely in play for me on Yahoo. He's a lot cheaper there than he is on DraftKings. PG, I think, is going to be low-owned. So if you want to play PG in tournaments, I'm fine with that. You just got to hope that the Thunder keep the game close. But if the Thunder keep the game close, I mean, PG could go for 60 tonight, and I wouldn't be surprised. So those guys are definitely in play for me. But, like, my favorite spin-ups are probably Jokic. And then I like Cat a lot in tournaments. I think Cat's going to be low-owned. If Brogdon and LeVert are out, I have a lot of interest in Sabonis. So that's kind of where I'm spinning up tonight. But, yeah, you could definitely go with those guys. I want to play Maxey also, but what are your thoughts on Dame, even though he's been struggling? Dude, I've been saying it for, like, the past 2 weeks now. Ever since the season started, basically, I've been saying, Dame's going to have a good game at some point, and he just keeps doing bad. But I think, eventually Dame's going to have a game where he just gets hot, and he puts up, like, 60 DraftKings points, because we know Dame has that kind of upside. But he's definitely been struggling this year, especially shooting-wise. But the opportunity's there. He's still taking a lot of shots. It's just a matter of if his shot can start falling. I mean, Dame's going to be low-owned basically every single slate until his price goes down, and it's not. I mean, he's still expensive. Batum or Wagner for value forwards on Yahoo, or I have someone else in mind. I like Lauri Markkanen a lot, especially now that Kevin Love's not expected to play. So with Kevin Love out, I think that does benefit a guy like Lauri Markkanen. He's cheap on Yahoo at forward, but I think Batum is fine as well, or Wagner. But Lauri Markkanen I do like on Yahoo as a cheap value forward. Would you say Cole Anthony is a play for DK? He's viable, but on this slate, I don't think I'd be playing Cole Anthony, at least not in my main lineup. There's just too many other guys I prefer today. And Cole Anthony he's been playing great this year, but he's priced correctly, I would say. Favorite guard, 6.4K and under, not Kimba. Let's see. 6.4K and under at guard. I would probably take Colin Sexton if you don't have Colin Sexton already. Colin Sexton, I know he's been struggling this year, but 5,900 for Colin Sexton. If we expect him to play 35, 36 minutes in a good matchup against Charlotte, Colin Sexton's a really good play on DraftKings, and I like him a lot. And he's going to be popular, I think, but like in cash games, I think he's a really, really good play. All right, let me see. I don't want to miss any questions. Speaking of prize picks, are there any props you like tonight? There was a couple I'll give out. Tobias Harris fantasy points. Right now, Prize Picks has Tobias Harris projected for 43 fantasy points. I still like the over there. I think it's a close projection, but I would definitely lean with the over. I just expect Tobias Harris to take all the shots. He's going to do everything offensively. So over on Tobias Harris fantasy points. Drummond's projected for 37. I think that's another pretty accurate projection. But if Drummond plays like 30 minutes tonight, he can very easily go over 37 fantasy points. So you could definitely take that one too. Some other guys, though, not Sixers. I like especially with Scotty Barnes doubtful. I think the Raptors are going to run a tight rotation, so I'm liking the Raptors guys like Van Vliet 36.5. I like that over. OG 33, kind of like that one. Chris Boucher, especially if he starts, over 20.5 fantasy points on Chris Boucher. Love that if Chris Boucher starts. But those are some I like, just a few. That's like 4 or 5 picks you could do if you want to. LaMelo or Deontay on Yahoo? Give me LaMelo, but that's definitely close. I think both those guys are good plays on Yahoo. You think Boucher gets good minutes? I think he does. I think he sees an increase in minutes. We're going to have to wait and see what the starting lineup is. But yeah, I think Boucher's definitely in play. Favorite values on Yahoo? I mean, it's got to be Drummond, Lauri Markkanen I like on Yahoo, Batum if you want to punt the forward position. Maxi's kind of cheap on Yahoo. Shake Milton's really cheap if you want to play to him. So those are a few guys I like for value. Is Nurk a good play with no Embiid? I think Nurk's definitely a better play than he was before. I didn't really have any interest in Nurkic today, but that was before the Embiid news came out. Now that Embiid's out, I think Nurkic is a better play. Am I running to roster Nurkic? I mean, no. I think for me, I'm going to plug Andre Drummond in at center and then just work from there. So if you want to play Drummond and Nurkic together, yeah, go ahead. But getting Drummond in at center is the priority for me. OG or Tobias Harris on Yahoo? Tobias Harris, definitely. But I do like OG a little bit more now that Scotty Barnes is doubtful. Are you confident about this slate? Joey, I'm confident every day, my man. If I wasn't confident, I wouldn't be playing. I'm thinking Kennard is a hammer for a potential blowout game. Really not feeling Batum. I mean, would Kennard play in a blowout? I'm not sure. Depending on how bad of a blowout it is. I mean, I guess if you want to go that route, you can. I mean, no one would be surprised if the Clippers just beat the crap out of the Thunder tonight. Do you have Yahoo ownership for Dame? I don't have Yahoo ownership. The site I use for projections, they only do DraftKings and FanDuel ownership. They don't do Yahoo. You like Zach LaVine tonight? Not really. I think on DraftKings at 9K, Zach LaVine's priced about right, if not a little bit overpriced. So not that much interest in LaVine, and really the Bulls in general, just not a team I'm that high on today. Over under 88% ownership on Drummond. God. I mean, I think in cash games, like in double ups, Drummond will be almost 100% owned. I think in tournaments, there will still be people that don't play Drummond. He'll probably be like 70% in tournaments and probably like 85, 90% in double ups. But you never know, man. You'll be surprised. There's still going to be people that don't play Drummond tonight. Who's the cheapest value pick? I mean, that I'm confident in, it's got to be Drummond. Like, Drummond's the best value on the slate. I think everyone knows that, but he's my favorite value. I mean, I don't really want to go out on a limb. I don't want to recommend someone that, I'm not that high on, whereas Drummond I'm, very high on. Yeah, we talked about Chris Boucher. I think Chris Boucher is a solid value. Chris Boucher is a great point per minute player, and he's going to probably play at least like 20 minutes, and if he starts, I would think he plays more than 20 minutes. So, yeah, I definitely like Chris Boucher. I mean, Scotty Barnes being out is pretty big because Scotty Barnes plays a ton of minutes, so you're going to have to just kind of like divvy up those minutes between Chris Boucher, Svi will get some minutes, Keem Birch will get some minutes. They'll probably just divvy up minutes between a bunch of guys, but I think Boucher definitely benefits. Favorite small forward on Yahoo? I mean, it depends, like, if you obviously Paul George, but are you going to pay up for Paul George? I like Lauri Markkanen for cheap. That's kind of where I'm going at small forward, I think. Sexton or Walker? Give me Colin Sexton. Playing on FanDuel, really wanted to roster Jokic, so I may pass on Drummond and use Curry and Harris instead. I'll probably be pissed at myself later tonight. Yeah, I think if you play on FanDuel, there's definitely, you kind of have to think about, the position. Because, I mean, what if, like, Jokic puts up 70 tonight? There's a good chance that, you know, even if Drummond goes for, like, 35, that, you know, Jokic is going to be the center that you need to have on FanDuel. It's a lot easier to play Drummond, just lock in Drummond on DraftKings because you can play 2 centers, and Yahoo, you can play 2 centers. On FanDuel, it gets a little bit trickier there. I still think Drummond's probably a great play on FanDuel too. But I don't think, like, if I was playing 150 lineups on FanDuel, I don't think I'd be lock button Andre Drummond, just because then at that point you're not playing any Jokic, you're not playing any Towns, and those guys, you know, have massive upside. With no love, you like Allen or Markkanen. I wish DK Ford only spot was power forward center. I do have a little bit more interest in both those guys, especially Lauri Markkanen. Lauri Markkanen's pretty cheap on DraftKings, and he's projecting really well for his salary. He's already been getting pretty big minutes with Cleveland this year, and now without Kevin Love, I mean, there's just more minutes to go around. So, yeah, 5,300, good matchup against the Hornets. I think, you know, Lauri Markkanen's a really good play. And Jared Allen, too. I think Jared Allen will be super low owned, but his minutes should be a little bit more secure without Kevin Love. Markkanen or Bane on DK? If we knew Ja was out, I would take Bane, but given that we don't know news on Ja right now, just give me Markkanen for now. You like SGA? Dort also got ruled out. Yeah, Dort got ruled out, which is kind of interesting because, you know, he's a starter, so who starts in place of Dort, I really don't know. They could go with Theo Maledon. They could go with Ty Jerome. They could go with Poku. Like, we really don't know what the starting lineup is going to look like for OKC, but we could get some value there as well. SGA, I don't know if his usage really changes without Dort. Dort's not, like, really a high-usage player or anything. But SGA, you know, I said it in my video last night. Like, SGA, in games that are competitive, when he plays his full minutes, he does really well. SGA, the only reason he struggles is whenever the Thunder get blown out. So if the Thunder get blown out tonight, yeah, you're going to be mad that you rostered SGA. If the game stays close, you're probably going to be very happy you played SGA because he's probably going to do well at his salary. So basically, if you play him, you got to hope the game stays close. That's all I'll say. On Yahoo, would you play Jaylen Brown or DeRozan? I would play Jaylen Brown. Wondering if Jordan McLaughlin gets any run if Beverly sits. I think it's a possibility, and especially, you know, especially in a scenario against a bad team like the Magic, like there's definitely blowout opportunity for Jordan McLaughlin if the game blows out. Now, I don't think I'd play Jordan McLaughlin on this slate, but he's one of those just kind of super cheap punt values you could play maybe if Beverly were to sit. If King Birch starts, thoughts on him? I think King Birch is definitely in play if he starts. He's center only on DraftKings, which sucks. Like, so Chris Boucher, you can play at power forward, which makes him a lot easier to roster. He's power forward center, whereas Kim Birch is only center only. So basically, you know, if I'm going to be playing Andre Drummond at center, that means, you know, if I play King Birch and Andre Drummond, then I can't play Jokic or Towns or any of these other guys. So I think King Birch will be a good play if he starts, but I'm still going to prioritize getting Drummond in over King Birch, definitely. Monte Morris at 4,400. Monte Morris was an okay kind of first look value. I think now that we have better value on the slate, I don't really have much interest in Monte Morris anymore. Utility play on DK under 4,700. I mean, Drummond if you don't have Drummond, but if you have Drummond already, I would say probably, I mean, I'd say one of the Memphis guys like Kyle Anderson. If Ja were to get ruled out, I would like Kyle Anderson a good amount. There really isn't much down here besides Drummond. I guess just go like the Batum. That would probably be my next pick, would be Batum. Or Chris Boucher, if you don't have Chris Boucher already. Bane or Melton? Straight up, I'd probably take Melton. I think both those guys, for me, I'm not playing Bane or Melton right now. At least I don't plan on it. But if Ja gets ruled out, then, you know, I might make some changes and get those guys in. Because obviously without Ja, you know, Bane, Melton would both get a big boost. My guy, thanks for all the help, Noah. Keep up the good work. Appreciate that, Tank. Appreciate it, my man. Thoughts on Fournier? Really no interest in Fournier for me on this slate. Too many other guys I like. The Knicks, overall as a team, I'm not a big fan of. I think from the Knicks, I think Mitchell Robinson's going to be super, super, super low owned, like probably less than 2% owned. You could go there in tournaments because I've kind of been on the Mitchell Robinson just going to have a big game at some point, and he's definitely underpriced. So he's playable. Kimba's playable, but there's definitely other plays I like on this slate. Not that high on the Knicks overall. If Brogdon and LeVert sit, do you prefer Sabonis over Towns and Jokic? I would probably still take Jokic. We just got news. Brogdon and Jeremy Lamb out Monday. Karis LeVert will play. So no Brogdon, no Jeremy Lamb. LeVert will play. And I'm expecting LeVert to probably be like, he's not going to play massive minutes. So what did LeVert play last game? So yeah, last game LeVert played 16 minutes. I would not play Karis LeVert tonight. Even though he's going to get a boost without Brogdon, he's only going to play probably 20, 22 minutes. I think TJ McConnell is the guy we need to talk about now. So without Brogdon, I'm assuming TJ McConnell starts again. Look, he's been terrible these last 2 games without Brogdon, but he's still getting the minutes. 33 minutes, 35 minutes. He's only 4,800. I kind of like TJ McConnell for value, and I think he's going to be lower owned, especially because he's been busting these last few slates. I know you guys have probably rostered McConnell and, don't want to roster him anymore, but he's definitely a good play, a good value now that Brogdon is officially out. I would have preferred that LeVert be out too, but I still think McConnell's a solid value now that Brogdon's out. What's up, Noah? Let's get that money tonight. Let's get it, Patrick. Let's get it, my man. OG or Kuz for tiers? Give me OG. What studs you high on tonight? I like Jokic. I like Towns. Sabonis I like a little bit more now that Brogdon's out. But definitely like Jokic and Towns I think are my 2 favorites. Should we play 2 centers tonight? I mean, it's definitely a 2 center night for me, I think. Because Drummond I'm for sure going to play. And then I want to try and play like Jokic or Towns. So, yeah, it's probably a 2 center night for me. Josh Giddey playable tonight? I think Josh Giddey's definitely in play, yeah. And without Lou Dort, I mean, I don't know if that really benefits Giddey too much, but it's, one less body in the rotation. It should secure him for even more minutes than he was already getting. Only thing I worry about is blowout, but I think Josh Giddey might still get some run in a blowout. And I think he has played in some blowouts this year. So he feels pretty safe regardless. Maxey and Shake together. I think that's fine just because of how cheap Shake is. Both those guys could still get there, definitely. So I think that's fine, Jason. Jaylen Brown or Miles Bridges? Give me Jaylen Brown. Thoughts on this? Kemba, Milton, Batum, Boucher, Drummond, Sexton, PG, Jokic. I think that's solid, Dylan. Dejounte Murray, a good play tonight. I like him a little bit more on Yahoo. On DraftKings, it's tougher to roster Dejounte Murray because he's really expensive on DraftKings. Maxey or Triple J? Man, Brendan, that's a really close one for me. Man, I think I would side with Triple J, but man, that's super close. I like both those guys a lot tonight. Triple J is definitely underpriced on DraftKings. Favorite spin ups beside Jokic? Got to be Towns, Sabonis, and then probably Trae Young maybe would be like my next guy. But definitely like Jokic, Towns, Sabonis are probably my 3 favorites. It's all centers for me tonight. We should be able to play 3 centers on DK. We can play 3 of any other position. I mean, there are some centers you can play at power forward, but yeah, I understand your frustration. Definitely a night where I wish I had like 4 center spots because there's just so many good center plays. Not trying to get cute, but for any value any eyes on Highland or Svi? Bones, I mean, I would only go to Bones on like the night slate. I wouldn't be playing him on this main slate. Svi, I think, will be playable if he starts, but if Svi doesn't start, I don't think I'd be going there. Brogdon out, ready to get burned with McConnell again? Yeah, here we go. I mean, McConnell still projects as like a really good value. Like with the DraftKings projections that I use, McConnell still projecting out is the 2nd best value on the slate behind Andre Drummond. So, yeah. I'm probably going to play McConnell, especially if he's not going to get as much ownership as he has been. I mean, he's still right now he's only projected for 6% ownership, but I think that'll definitely come up now that we have this Brogdon news. Appreciate you, Noah. You're the GOAT of TFS. I appreciate that, Lamar. Thank you, my man. And thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you being in the streams. McConnell been lighting my money on fire the last couple slates. Yeah, I've played McConnell. I think I definitely played him the first day Brogdon was out. I don't think I played him the last slate. But, yeah, I mean, he still projects as a really good value, and he's definitely underpriced for the minutes you expect him to play. LaMelo or Van Vliet? Give me LaMelo. What you think of Jaren Jackson Jr.? I think Triple J is really underpriced on DraftKings. It's just, can Triple J stay out of foul trouble? That's always the concern with him. If he stays out of foul trouble and he plays 30, 32 minutes, he's very likely to pay off 5,400. John Collins or Evan Mobley? Give me John Collins. Thoughts on Walker, Bledsoe, Thibault, Triple J, Drummond, Trae Young, Oubre, Jokic. I mean, Thibault, I'm not really on, Joey, but the rest of that lineup I think is fine. Oubre, now that Terry Rozier's back, I'm not as high on Oubre either, but I think the rest is fine. Top point guard play tonight. I mean, TJ McConnell's a good value now. If you're paying up, I like Trae Young, I like LaMelo. In the mid-range, like Colin Sexton, Maxey. Those are like my 4 or 5 favorite point guards, I would say. Would you play Horford on Yahoo as a util? I think Horford's fine, but I think Horford's been he's been performing over his head, I would say. I don't think Horford's going to be a guy that puts up 40 fantasy points every night. And he's been great to start the season, but I don't want to look too much into the game log so far. I think Horford's not going to continue to be as productive as he has been. I think there's some regression coming for old Al Horford. Any interest in Cedi Osman? I mean, without Kevin Love, I think Cedi Osman gets more minutes, but on this slate, I personally don't think I'm going to go there. Like, I don't think he makes my player pool. Any Duarte love? Yeah, without Brogdon, Duarte's definitely in play. His price is like where it should be, though. It's not like Duarte's a great value or anything. LeVert playing doesn't really help Duarte either, but he's playable, I would say, at least with Brogdon out. Drummond's officially starting? Okay, I expected that. Where'd you see that at? Let's see. I haven't seen the Sixers starting lineup yet, but I'd assume Drummond starts. I mean, that would be, I don't know who else they would start. You still like Sexton, or their new shooting guard you like on Yahoo? I still like Sexton. I still think he's a good play on Yahoo. Thank you for the videos. Any prize picks, please stay safe. Let's see, Maria. Let's see. Gave out a couple earlier. You could rewind the stream, but I'll say them again. So, Tobias Harris, over 43 fantasy points. Andre Drummond, over 37 fantasy points. And then the Raptors guys I like without Scotty Barnes. So, Chris Boucher, over 20 and a half fantasy points. I like that one. Those are 3 picks I really like for prize picks tonight. Those 3. Who you like from the Wolves? I think Towns. I think everyone on Minnesota's a tournament play. I don't think there's any guys from Minnesota I'd be playing like in cash games or anything. But Towns, I definitely like in tournaments. And, you know, Anthony Edwards is fine. D. Russ is fine. But Towns is the main interest of mine from Minnesota. Off-topic question, but are you rostering any running backs on the NFL slate? I feel like both their ceilings are too low, but it feels weird not picking a running back. I'm not that high on the running game tonight for the NFL slate. I'm kind of focusing on the passing game. So that's just kind of my approach. But I do think, you know, Darrell Williams, Devontae Booker, they're both going to get a ton of opportunity. But yeah, I mean, Devontae Booker has not really been that efficient running the ball this year. It's just the volume is what makes him playable. Good luck tonight, everyone. Hey, good luck, Frank. Good luck, my man. I'm about to wrap up the stream here, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. I wish you guys the best of luck tonight. And yeah, fellas, good luck, and we will see you tomorrow with another stream, and we'll have another video for tomorrow's slate. You know, that'll be posted later tonight. But good luck, fellas. Thanks for tuning in.